after 5 seasons in the Enterprise South, we have finally got promoted, and also we did win the FA Trophy. It is a domestic double, if you can call it that, winning the playoffs on the FA Trophy. I'm going to count it as that. But let's see if we can attract EFL players to sign for little old Weston-Super-Mare. Hello, welcome to Club One Part 37 of the Globe Explorer. Coming up in today's episode, we will have our first ever transfer window as a National League club. That's right, yesterday's episode we did get promoted, beating 1-0 against Tonbridge in the playoff final. Obviously, we also did win the FA Trophy 3-0 against, ironically, the National League champions Newport, which is absolutely absurd. If we can beat teams like that quite comfortably, we're going to go up next year. Obviously, there will be transfers and players leaving, but let's take a look at our end of season review. So, as you can see, we did win the FA Trophy. We are the current title holders because I believe the new season has probably ticked over. FA Cup went slightly better this year. Obviously, just getting knocked out in the first round by whoever we got knocked out by. I think it was Dartford. Again, I want to find a confirmation that it was Dartford. No, it wasn't Dartford. It was Telford on penalty. So it's just slightly unfortunate, but hopefully we can go one better this season and hopefully get to the second round of the FA Cup. And apart from that, competition's pretty good. Obviously, got promoted in the league. That is very good. We did make some money on transfers this year, which is quite ridiculous. We 70k on transfers. Who were they from? I presume Harry Holt was one of them. 70k, which is quite good. We also do have a couple one release clause, or a clause we could sell, which is Harry Holt's. We could potentially get 250k for him. I'm not going to do that because realistically, I don't really know what we're going to do. And performance feedback, it's been pretty much mainly positive. The only downside was the 1-0 defeat against Dulwich Hamlet, which I completely understand, because if we had won that game, we wouldn't have had to do the playoffs. We would have been champions, simple as that. But we nearly did become champions. It was only pesky goal difference, which is slightly annoying. But let's see what the board want me to do next year. I suspect it is probably just going to be, avoid relegation, then work towards becoming a established Enterprise National League team for the next 5 years. That's not going to happen. I think we very much want to avoid relegation next year, then possibly the season after look to get promoted. So, board, I think all the objectives are pretty much all the same. Grow the club's reputation, that's going to get better when we get promoted to League 2 at the end of this season or next season. So I think that's all good. Let's talk to the players. Obviously, we're not going to go too hard on them. So I think we're in a very good position to avoid a relegation battle. Is that really what you're targeting? We'll do well to stay up, and you know it. Okay. What I don't know what Morgan Bates is trying to say, but okay. Well, I'm happy to have a rethink and focus on avoiding relegation. Yes, I run them over. That is very good news. I'm not going to talk to them about anything else because, go on, lads, have a good holiday. I might see some of you when you get back, or some of you might have gone, but this is going to be a very interesting transfer window. We do have a lot of players out of contract. The out of contract players are Sean Cox, obviously going back to his parent club Shrewsbury. He is out of contract, and he was a very good player for us, a very good player indeed. But whether or not he'll want to sign for us, it's a different question, and whether or not he gets released is another question entirely. Then other players out of contract include Sam Harrison. I don't know if we give him a contract. He's potentially a lead in Enterprise South, so I think he probably goes, but at the moment he is going. I doubt we're going to offer him a new contract. Quincy Dixon, I doubt he's going to want to sign a new contract because we barely played him this year. He's a good player when he plays, but I don't think he's going to sign a new contract. He might do. Let's just well, it's 50-50 with him. I think Ferdinand definitely leaves at the end of his contract. Harry Rodder is a player I do want to try and keep hold of, but might keep him as a backup and get another player over the top of him. He is on £800 a week, so I don't really want to have a massive wages. If we could have just like a £900, maybe I'd take a 950, 1,000 then. It's like an auction this. Yeah, 975, 1 year contract for Harry Rodder. I think that's completely reasonable. So that's Harry Rodder's done. Contract is done. Tyler Cook would be a lovely player to try and keep hold of, but I don't think, he's not willing to accept. But there is always a chance he could stay here on a non-contract, like Daniel Watts, Trey George, and Louis Henry, who possibly might all potentially move on at probably just get released, because I don't think any of them are that good. Daniel Watts is being paid £775 a week. That is absolutely ridiculous. He can get gone because he's definitely not as good as Pimlott, who is staying. And other players out of contract are David Bashumo. Again, probably not good enough, considering when we've got, well, Louis Henry. I don't know, David Bashumo might potentially sign a new contract. Could improve significantly. Whether or not it'll be National League standard, I don't really know. Morgan Bates, I'd love to sign him, get him down to a new contract, but whether or not he's good enough for the National League. Though he did score 40 goals, 38 goals this season. It feels like a bit of a silly move not to offer him a new contract. I think we might have. I don't know if we can't discuss talks yet. Maybe nearer the end of his contract we can discuss talks. I think Jake Donahue definitely goes. We can look elsewhere for a backup goalkeeper. So definitely then the players staying are Woody Burgess, Ollie Pimlott, Jordan Thomas, who looks very exciting. Obviously, Super Frankie Phillips in goal. Sinclair Linton is staying. He's only just going to be a emergency backup. He's on £50 a week. That's completely fine. Jaheim Dotsey here for another year, just as a backup. They've got Isago Silva, Cody Twose. James Kay is leaving us. I'm not sure why his contract expires 2031. I presume that's his parent contract. Then we've got Luke Bell staying on for another 2 years, which is quite good. He was quite decent last year. Whether or not he'll be up to the National League standard, I do not know. He might not be. That will probably change when our promotion gets officially confirmed. So I think we'll probably just come back 1st of July. Hopefully some of the players that are out of contract might have signed new contracts. Then the players that haven't will hopefully have left the club. Then maybe we just might be joined by a few new players. Well, it's currently the 1st of July. All the players that have run out of their contract have now left the club. We have given players some new contracts, which I will go through very briefly soon. But I have noticed this. Clubs in England release players. Some of them are very surprising. Like Vicky Gyökeres. He's only been at Arsenal for like more than a few seasons, more than, I mean, he scored 18 goals and gets released. That is absolutely absurd. Does he want to join? No, I don't think he would. It's worth a try. It's worth a try trying to get him Victor Gyökeres. I mean, he is 32. Will Jabbo want to join? He is 33. Do you want to take a massive pay cut? No. But I thought so, but it's worth a try for them players. I doubt we're going to get in the other three, which is very, very upsetting, but it was worth a try trying to get those players in. But let's take a look at the squad, see what we're working with as we head into the new season, 1st of July. Obviously, got some really good players, some not so great players, so we might be looking for a few first team players, a few backups as we head towards the new season. So the only goalkeeper at the club still is Frankie Phillips, who's got bags of potential. So I feel like we just need he is decent national, which is quite good. So I reckon probably just a backup to him, an experienced goalkeeper, so like a 30-year-old, probably with not very much potential. Because Frankie Phillips, I think, will be our first choice next season. And obviously centre backs, we've still got Luke Bell, Sinclair into the Saga Silva, Sam. Who got released? I can't remember who got released. So who left the club? So players that left the club: Ferdinand Occo left the club alongside Jake Donahue. Quincy Dixon was one of those 50-50 players. When he played, didn't really do much. Really struggled to break into the starter 11. That's why we sort of released him. Sam Harrison also got released alongside Tyler Cook as well. I'd love to have kept Tyler Cook, but just didn't want to. We rejected an offer, but he didn't want to sign after that. So finishing off the defence, obviously Bell, Sinclair into the Saga Silver. So definitely need another centre back. David Bashumo did sign a new contract, a slight pay increase. Now being paid £850, was being paid 800, so not very much wage increase, but I think that'd be fine. Whether or not he's good enough to be, I think he'll be good enough for a starter, but might get in another but one. So I think Louis Henry probably does go, because we can just release him, because I don't think he's going to be good enough. But he wasn't really that great last season, so Louis Henry is going to be gone very soon. So we definitely need another left back, ideally one with decent potential. Right backs, we've just got Harry Rodder at the moment. Obviously, we've still got Daniel Watts knocking around the club, but he does have potential to be a good national player. He just doesn't. He looks very bad. I think we get him gone. He was a great player while he was with us, but he just wasn't great last season. So I think Daniel Watts probably does go. He probably isn't going to get much game time anyway next season. So Daniel Watts will be going, and I think Trey George will stay here for now. But Harry Rodder is our only right back, and he looks like a very good right back. I'm glad that we gave him a new contract, just another 1 year contract, £975 a week, but looks very good. So probably just another young one with a decent potential, just someone that could play as a backup, then potentially could be first choice in a few years' time. Then centre mids, we've still got Pimlott and Burgess. Obviously, Watts will be leaving the club, so we need a couple centre mids. So actually, just do one more centre mid, because we do have this youngster, Carlos Colton, who did have a decent loan spell with Kings Langley last season. A 3 goal, 7 assists, not too bad. I'm not sure what his best role is. I think it's very much a left mid or left winger. We'll train him, but he can play as a central midfielder, so we'll train him up to be a left winger, because I think that is probably his best role. Albeit he isn't fast, but I think he'll be fine out on the left hand side. So that's the sort of left winger done partially. So we definitely need another couple centre mids. Our two attacking midfielders, obviously Cody Twose is still going to be our number one choice, because he is just absolutely fantastic. He's just going to improve season after season. Trey George will probably remain as a backup, because I think he'll be fine. Yeah, he probably won't play a whole great deal of games, but he can play in multiple positions, which is sort of handy if we don't end up signing players in them positions. So number 10s are pretty much done. Their right wingers, obviously, we've still got Jordan Thomas, who is now a natural right winger, which is very good, and I believe decent enterprise national, could improve a lot, which is a very big positive. And obviously Jaheim Dotsey as his backup, who is technically national north south standard, but he can potentially be a national league standard, but he's only going to be a backup, just like national. Their left wingers, who have got Carlos Colton, and that's it. Probably, I don't know what we do. I'd probably I don't know if Carlos Colton's going to get too much game time. What we are going to do is take him off the loan list. I think we are offering him a new contract. Yeah, we are in the middle of giving him a new contract. He has agreed to be a breakthrough prospect, so possibly, I reckon, just another loan. If Sean Cox has been released, I wouldn't mind signing him again for next season. That's only if he's been released. If he's gone out, if he's going to come in on loan, we might be able to persuade him now that we're in a higher league. Then our only striker, we have given Morgan Bates a new 1 year contract, a very big pay increase, being paid over £1,000, but he's a decent enterprise national player, so I think he'll definitely make the step up. Whether or not he'll get 40 goals a season this year, that remains to be seen. But so far, what we working with? Let's have a look. See how big our squad is. Bearing in mind we are releasing 2 players, so we're working with a squad of 14. So it's not too bad. We only really have to sign 8 more players. So it's another goalkeeper, preferably just a backup, because Frankie Phillips will be our first choice. Another centre back, could be permanent or a loan. Another full back on each side. Couple centre mids and a couple wingers and a striker. So a left winger and a striker. No right wingers are needed because we've got 2, which is it's quite simple. I reckon this summer might be the most simple transfer window ever, but that remains to be seen. Other transfer business might potentially happen. We do have still Harry Holt. We could potentially bring him back in on loan. I don't think that's going to happen, but he might come back if we can get him in on no wages. And then there's a slight possibility. Southern Bird, he's listed for 2.5 million. That could be massive. We've got 20%. If someone can make a bid for $1 million, that can make our summer potentially. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but you never know. So I think we'll probably come back 2 weeks time, probably middle of July. So we'll probably have like 2-3 weeks left of this transfer window. Not 2-3 weeks left of the transfer window. 2-3 weeks before the start of the season. Hopefully by then, we may have signed all 8 of our positions that we need, but certainly, hopefully, have signed at least 2 or 3 more players. Well, it's currently the 18th of July. We've probably got around 3 to 4 weeks. Actually, when does the first game of the season? 10th of August. That's actually, is that late or is that roughly the same time as last year? So we've got about 4 weeks left to go off our first game of the season. We have signed 3 players. We've loaned out a couple of our youngsters, but we have signed 3 players. The people that have been loaned out, the only person that has been loaned out, Roman Perrin, one of our highly potential youngsters. He's got 4-star potential, so we've sent him out on loan again. He had a loan spell at Mangotsfield last season, so 2 goals, 1 assist from 34 games, not too bad. So he's gone up a step above to Brackley in the Enterprise North. If he does well, he might potentially be in with a shout of getting a first team spot for next season. But we have signed 3 players, like I've said. First up, we've signed Nesvat Rosui, is a Italian left winger. 3 stars of current ability, 5-star potential, good, decent enterprise national. Could be, well, I'd say potentially EFL standard in my opinion. He looks like a decent player. Comes in on a free transfer from Wrexham. Previously has playing experience, albeit never played for any of these clubs. Wrexham, Sheffield Wednesday, and Brentford. Looks like a decent player, decent physical stats, quite a pacey little player, but he looks like a decent player. Just someone that can provide competition for Carlos Couto on the left side. Obviously, he's not really towering above him, but obviously he is only 5'7", so I think he's going to be quite a threat on that left side. Then next up, we've got Kylan Midwood. He is a English striker, 3 stars of current ability, 4.5-star potential, decent enterprise national player, potentially League 2. He comes in on a free transfer from Fulham, where he has actually played 1 game previously of Man City, where he also played 1 game coming off the bench in the Premier League. So not too bad there. He didn't score any goals for them, but made 2 appearances for Fulham and Man City respectively, so hopefully he scores a ton of goals. Again, another player who possesses decent physical stats and good technical stats. A great finishing, 14, which is very good. I think he's going to score a ton of goals. I'm not sure what this means for Morgan Bates. I guess we just have him as rotation. If one scores, they stay in. If they don't score, they switch out. I think that's probably how we're gonna do it. Then next up, we've got Harley Irish, who's a English left back, 3 stars of current ability, 4-star potential, decent enterprise national. Not really gonna improve. He is on a 2-year contract, so I think he'll be fine. He comes in on a free transfer from Reading, so that's not too bad. And all of these players are fairly cheap wages. Nedved is on 350 quid a week. Kind of Midwood, okay, 900 quid a week, but it's completely understandable. And Harley Irish, £150 per week, so fairly cheap wages. This is the budget so far. We've still got transfer money. We haven't spent any of it yet. I'm not saying we're going to spend money on a transfer. Wages, we're still looking fairly comfortable in the wage budget. Still got 7.7 and a quarter K spare wage budget. In terms of, has anyone made a bid for Corey Sound-Bertie? If we hadn't signed a new striker, we possibly might have tried to. Yeah, I think he would have been a good shout for a striker, but I guess we probably missed some opportunity. But Harry Holt could be a potential. Still could be. That's very good. That's very good. We'll think about it because we just still need a right back. Actually, this is the squad at the moment. So with those 3 players in, let's just clear this squad because we have been playing pre-season friendlies. Can we? This is. Oh, well, what is going on here? This is not the squad. Let's just click continue. Then hopefully the squad should be all good and a little bit smaller because that was included. Yeah, that's better. So only goalkeeper at the moment is still Frankie Phillips, who's now dropped down to 2.5 stars of current ability. Maybe we do get a new number 1 because he is only leading north-south. So he'll be fine as a backup because he's got decent potential. But yeah, I don't know if he'll be first choice for next year. That's something we might have to think about between now and the new season. Obviously, we haven't signed any centre-backs yet. I haven't really looked at centre-backs, so we will look at one. Possibly permanent, maybe loan. I'm not really sure. Left-backs are done. We've got Harley Irish and David Bishumo. I think Irish is probably going to be first choice. He's got slightly better potential than David Bishumo. Yes, he's on £850 a week. He's probably going to be a backup this season because he is only north-south. I think this season might be his last. Then we haven't signed any centre mid yet, but so we're still going with Pimlott and Burgess. So we're still doing the playmaker and channel midfielder because it worked last year. It's going to work again this year. Then centre attack mid still is Cody Toes, and Trey George is still at the club. And left wingers, we've got obviously Carlos Colton and Nedved Owusu. So 2 very good options on the left-hand side. They're both going to be absolutely superb for us. They've both got very decent potential as well. The right wingers, obviously, still got Jordan Thomas and Shaheem Dotsey. Strikers, it's Morgan Bates and new boy Kyler Midwood. So I think going through the positions, we definitely need a first choice goalkeeper. There's no doubt about that. I'm not surviving in the National League with 2.5 stars goalkeeper. Possibly a loan, I think. No, maybe not a permanent, just a loan will do because I'm sure Frankie Phillips will get up to National League standard at some point. We'll probably play him in the cup games because I think we're still in the FA Trophy. I don't know if we're in any other cups apart from the FA Cup. I think there's such thing as called a National League Trophy, a bit like the EFL Trophy, but for National League teams. I think we're in that competition. I'm not really sure. So we definitely need another goalkeeper, probably a loan. Another right back because we're still working with Harry Waters. So it's another goalkeeper, right back, a centre back, couple of centre mids, and I think that'd be all our positions done and dusted. I don't think we need any other positions unless anyone leaves, which at this stage of the transfer window and this close to the season, I don't think anyone is going to leave. If we beat Everton in a pre-season friendly, we're going up. That might just be me being a little bit too optimistic, but I think we are good enough to get a playoff spot this year. Whether or not we're going to go up, again, I'm not sure. It's another tight league. Only one promotion spot, so hopefully we don't get dragged into a playoff push. Just a mid-table finish would be nice, but still focusing on transfers. Hopefully, by the time we get around to the new National League season, hopefully we should have fully assembled a 22, possibly 23 man squad fit for the new season. Well, we have made it to the start of our first season in the National League, and that's where we will end today's episode. Obviously, we will go through all of the transfers we have done throughout today's episode. We have fully assembled the 22-man squad. How good the squad is going to be, I do not know. We'll find that out in the next episode. Should we get absolutely battered by Cheltenham, who I suspect probably are favourites for the title, it's probably not going to mean much. I mean, we've got two very difficult opening games of the season, Cheltenham and Accrington. I suspect they're going to be first and second place by the end of the season. If that doesn't happen, I don't know what's happened. We probably won the title or something, but I reckon we can put off a good fight. I reckon we can definitely get mid-table. Definitely going to avoid relegation. That's all I'm going to say, because we have signed a top-class goalkeeper. But start off with the players that have left the club or gone out on loan. Obviously, Roman Perrin looks like a decent player. Obviously, he's gone out on loan to Brackley. Let's hope he has a good season. And Jake Hill, again, I don't think he's going to be decent. He's still technically got full sub potential. He's gone out on loan to Paul. Let's just hope they have two decent loan spells. Then the players that have come in, we've only signed 8 players, which I was sort of expected. I wasn't really expecting any more, wasn't really expecting any less. So started off the episode by signing Nedved Owusu, who is a Italian left winger, 3 stars of current ability, 5-star potential, decent enterprise national player, comes in on a free transfer from formerly of Wrexham, Wednesday and Brentford. So looks like a decent player, decent stats. Let's hope he starts the season off there well. Then next up, we signed Kylan Midwood, 22-year-old striker, 3 stars of current ability, plenty of potential, good and decent enterprise national, potentially League 2. He comes in on a free transfer from Fulham. Then next up, we signed Harley Irish, who's a English left back. Can he actually play for Ireland? That would be something I'd love to know. I don't know how we find out about that, but can he? I presume he can. How do we find his nationalities? That's what I really want to know. But I'm sure we can. I'm sure we'll figure it out at some point. What's his fitness like? Pretty decent, but I want to know if he can represent Ireland. That's what I really want to know. But I don't think there's any way we can. Let's check it. There used to be a way, but I just can't find it, which is very annoying. But I presume he can play. Can be an Irish because his name's Irish, so I presume he is Irish. So, but he's 3 stars of ability. Not a lot of potential, but he is very cheap. Leading enterprise North South. He was national before when we signed him, but now dropped down to North South. So maybe Bajumo might be our starting left back, but he comes in on a free transfer from Reading. Then next up is the players you haven't met yet. So first up, we've got Ruben Curley. He is a central attacker, just a normal central midfielder, can play as a playmaker and a channel midfielder, but primarily sort of a competition for the playmaker role with Oliver Pimlott. 3 stars of current ability, 3.5 star potential, needed in North-South. Why? Again, potential ability is good enterprise national. He comes in on a free transfer from Stoke. Never made an appearance for Stoke, but has had 2 decent loan spells at Wickham and Oldham. Hopefully he provides some decent competition, and when he plays should be good, hopefully, but he is North-South standard, so that's slightly terrifying. Then next up we've got Hayden Taylor. Again, just a backup as for the Channel midfielder Rob Woody Burgess. 2.5 stars of capability, 3-star potential, leading North South potentially national standard. There's a theme here. Our backups aren't good enough for the National League. He comes in on a free transfer from Crewe. Again, it's not the most exciting place, but he has played a few games. 14 games for Crewe. 2 assists. So it's not been too bad for them, but he might get some game time. He is only on a non-contract. Owen Taylor, arena on non-contract. So if he's rubbish, we could just get rid of him. Then next up is a player who I'm really excited about. I know I said I wasn't going to sign a goalkeeper. I couldn't turn him down. Farron Doran, who is a English goalkeeper, 3.5 stars of capability, 5-star potential, good enterprise national, potentially League Two. He comes in on a free transfer from Spurs and a loan spell with Barnet last season in League Two, where he made 7 clean sheets. 3 player for match performances in 3 games for 40 games. I mean, that is quite decent. Only downside is he is only 5'11", but out of all the goalkeepers we've signed, he has been the tallest, shortest player. Obviously, we've signed a 5'4", 5'5" in the past, so 5'11" shouldn't have anything to worry about. Then next up, we've got a couple of loan players. Both of them previous with Weston-Super-Mare. So first up is George Evans. He's a Northern Irish 20-year-old centre-back, 3.5 stars of capability, 5-star potential, good enterprise national player, potentially League Two. He comes in on a season-long loan with Plymouth. We had him on another loan 2 seasons ago, where he made 44 appearances for us and 1 assist. Didn't score any goals. Hopefully he can try and get add some to his goal tally this season, but again, similar to his last loan, he will be a decent player for us. He's gonna keep us up alongside Osago Silva. Then next up, we've got Harry Holt. He's back with us on a season-long loan from Watford, but he's a 19-year-old right back, not a natural right back. We will carry on his training because he wasn't really a decent right back when we signed him. I don't think he was actually accomplished. I think he was very much a makeshift right back, but sort of started training him up. 3.5 stars of current ability, 5-star potential, leading North South. I think that's a little bit wrong, but he can be potentially League Two. He comes in on like I said, season-long loan from Watford. If he has a good loan spell, there might be a few clubs sniffing around him because similar to who's the other guy, Corey Soderbergh, we do have a 20% sell on should he go on to a bigger, better club. I don't know what happens if we potentially sign him. I don't know if we get 20% off the fee we paid for him, but that doesn't really make any sense. But this is the squad headed into the new season. So goalkeepers, we've got Farron Doran and Frankie Phillips. Then centre backs, we've got Luke Bell, Sinclair Linton, who will very much be a emergency backup there. First choice centre backs will be George Evans and Osago Silva. Right backs this year, Harry Holt and Harry Rodder. So the 2 Harrys once again combined to cause absolutely living misery for me because, absolutely ridiculous having 2 Harrys both at right back. Left backs, we've got Darren Bashumo and Harley Irish. I think they're 2 very similar players with 2 just decent. Well, Harley Irish with slightly better potential, but is only a leading North-South player, so might start a couple games here and there, but he probably will get better as the season goes on. I think he just needs game time, then he should slowly but surely will improve. And centre backs, our first choice partnership will be Pimlott and Burgess, followed by Owen Hayden Taylor and Ruben Curley. Then centre attacker mids will be Trey George and who's the other guy? Where is he? Cody Twose will be our first choice centre attacker mid. Let's see if he has a good season this year. Then right wingers, we've got Shaheem Dotsey and Jordan Thomas, same partnership as last season. Dotsey as backup, Thomas as the first choice. Left wingers, we've got Nefrid Arosu, joined by youngster Carlos Colton, who I reckon he'll be a decent backup. Whether or not he'll break into the starting 11, that remains to be seen. Then strikers, obviously we've got Morgan Bates and new boy Kyler Midwood. So before we do end today's episode, with those signings, where does that leave us in the season preview? So not actually, that's not too bad. I was expecting us to be near the relegation zone, but Buxton are predicted to finish 24th. I presume they didn't get promoted, so they survived that season. So who have been promoted? Worthing, obviously, they finished first alongside us. Bury, good to see them back in the National League, and Darlington, who are predicted to get relegated. So the two relegated teams from League Two are Barnet and Bromley. They're predicted to finish 17th and 18th. Wow, so predicted to finish 13th. That is not too bad. Do we have anyone in the Dream 11? We don't, which is slightly I can completely understand that. What's our still thinks we're going to play a 4-4-2. That is not happening. I mean, Pimlott at left back. No, ignore that. Ignore that. We're still doing the 4-2-3-1. I reckon we'll do quite well if we can somehow from the opening. I think from the opening 10 games, if we can get at least 15 points by the end of August, 15 points, I reckon we should be in with a good shout of a. Probably not a relegation fight, probably a mid-table race and maybe push for playoffs, because there's not really a huge difference between the National League, the lower leagues and this league. Not a huge difference at all. So I reckon it should be quite simple. So hopefully we're off to a good start tomorrow in our first league games in the National League, which will be up against Cheltenham and Accrington. If you have enjoyed today's video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more Daily Football Manager videos, and thank you very much for watching.